finally got it off. Set it off to the side. I'm probably going to cover it with a tarp so the cats try to stay out of there. But this is the finished product of it. Well, not finished obviously, but at least to where it's got the tub off and completely exposed. So some of the things that we're gonna have to do through this portion, obviously I have to prep, and I'll probably have to sand it, prep the new frame, or new to me I should say, and I'm gonna start swapping everything out. However, you know, I do want to replace like the springs and stuff, but it all depends, and the shocks look like they need to be changed out as well. So I was thinking of just getting another 4-inch lift kit, but you know, it's not cheap, so we'll have to see how the money thing goes. And obviously both Danas, I'm gonna be servicing them and cleaning them up, making them look new and pretty. And I've got differential covers somewhere in here. Right here. There's the mirrors for it. So the G2, I've got both the Dana 30 and the Dana 35s in here, which is awesome. So I can't wait to get to that point. So it's gonna look pretty cool. That being said, having new neat stuff like that on this, you know, wouldn't look right with rusty anything, to be honest with you. But going from front to back on this thing, right, for this next phase, is obviously we need a new steering system. As I mentioned before, this bolt popped loose from the pitman arm. It's still steered, but it's all the way to the nut now, where it used to be a gap. I couldn't tighten it all the way because I'm at the end of the threads, so this piece right here isn't exactly right. But I do have a rough country heavy duty kit. I don't know if I'm going to use that one or not, but it is what it is, right? And obviously on the engine, I'm not going to mess too much with the internals, so I'm going to try to keep it in sync with itself, which means probably leaving this in place so that way the engine stays timed. However, I'm going to clean the engine up, get all these rust pieces off, and make it look nicer anyways. I do have a new cover for this, which, looking at the back, I need a new seal. It's not bad. I've seen a lot worse. These aren't torqued very tight for the cover, so they tend to get loose and they'll leak a little bit of oil, but you can see some seepage in there, but not horrible. I've seen, like I said, I've seen a lot worse. The big leak on this engine is the rear main seal, so we'll be doing that as well. And that being said, I'll get to look at the bearings and see how the bearings fair in this engine, and that's going to determine whether this thing needs an engine redo or not. Because if I'm taking out, I'll probably use all the components and just change the bearings. That'll leave me the opportunity to clean up the engine easier if that's the case. So first thing I'm going to do is the rear main seal once I get the engine out and apart. I am going to check the timing chain in here, make sure it's still in good condition and not too loose. And I mean, this thing's got probably 150,000-160,000 miles on it, so I want to make sure that's all good. As far as the pump has been working fine on this. I may delete this. I have to see if there's a kit out there to delete it, or the arrangement of the belt properly to delete that. But like I said, I take this thing, I drive it. I don't typically use the top. When it was my main driver, I drive it in the wintertime, and you don't need AC for the heat. So, and the heat worked really good on this. So that's it for the front. New alternator, because like I said, this is binding. Don't like that. Even though it works, it's probably about to go. I may change the starter, although the starter worked just fine. So I might just clean it up. Just depends. Because the starter you can't see too much. I'll service the transmission. Every time I've checked the transmission fluid, the fluid has looked clear, so I think they've kept up on the maintenance on that. But I'll still change it out and give it a new fluid and new filter and all that stuff. The transfer case, I think I'm calling it that right. I'm drawing a blank. I think I'm calling it right, but I don't know. It looks like it's been redone once, so it may still be good. I'm not sure if this angle is correct on here for a 4-inch lift. Looks like a new drive shaft in the back, one of those that slides back and forth. If that's the case, I'll clean it up and probably keep it in all this. And what else? I do have a leak somewhere in the evap system. I thought I found it down, where did I correct the issue? Where did I think it's one of these down over here. I put a new hose. That did not fix the code that was popping up. So I'm going to continue to look. And back here, obviously I'm going to have to figure out the piece I broke right here. And I'm probably losing gas as we talk from that little piece. And I'm debating whether to change the fuel pump and everything out, since I have it exposed. Let me know if you have any ideas on that. And actually, if you have any ideas on anything I'm going over, let me know. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know. I'm not a mechanic. I'm just a hobbyist that does this, and I like to learn everything I can and work on my own stuff. So I do like the rear and front bumpers. However, with the accident that it was in that twisted the frame, I don't know that I can get it on the new frame, so especially the front one. But we'll see. If I can fit them on, I will clean them up, get all the rust off of them, and make it look brand new. If not, I'll probably go a different front and rear bumper on this. But that's ahead. Main thing is to get it back on the wheels. I do like the rims, although I'm not much. I do like steel rims better, but these look good with this Jeep, so I'm going to keep that. And I already mentioned servicing the Dana 35 back here, Dana 30 up front. New exhaust system. I bought most of them already. They've been sitting in storage forever. As you can see, this exhaust is needs switched out anyways. Like, they've got a replacement jerry rig piece right here that they were holding up with a piece of wire because it broke off. On the new frame, this piece is intact and good. Not sure about this one, I don't remember, but the only piece I haven't gotten from this whole thing is this catalytic converter. I've got the front ones, I don't have this one in the back. So, and there is an exhaust leak somewhere in here. I saw it when I was underneath. I think it might be over here, and I believe there's one up front as well, so we'll see. I'm gonna keep the transmission brace, or whatever it's called, the bracket going underneath. I am gonna clean it up and repaint it and all that. And I like the spacing that they put in it. Just hopefully on the new frame it will still line up. If not, I'll have to drill through the frame and put a nut and bolt here. I'm also thinking about a body inch lift, just to leave some space between the frame and the body, so that way if any kind of mud or anything gets up on there, it's easier to clean off. Because as you can see, there's mud caked in here from not getting cleaned off all the way. I don't know if I'm missing anything. And then obviously the motor mount. So hopefully I can still mount something. I think there's a company called Brown Dog that makes newer brackets. Although I think it extends out to these, and it doesn't. Oh, that might just be mud caked inside the holes. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, I think that's it for this episode. And another thing too, I'm kind of going slow at this, right? So a lot of these videos may be kind of long because I'm trying to be thorough, trying not to break stuff, even though I broke this over here, and get it done properly. Hey Daisy, Daisy, what you doing? Huh? What you doing? Yeah, that's. And let's see. I think that's it, guys. But next week I will be starting the tear down on this and getting it. Actually, I'll be bringing the new frame in here, and I'll set it up front here, start preparing it and getting it. Alright, so I got the new frame in here. So I've said the story about this, but I did ask the person that I bought it from, or the guy that I bought it from, like, what's the story behind it, because I was afraid it was coming from somebody who was just parting out a perfectly good Jeep. And he told me that the Jeep that it came off of, they took it all apart to do something with, and they never did, and ended up just selling it as pieces. So I don't know. It didn't come from him. He bought it from somebody and then never ended up using it. But No, it's in really good shape. Like nothing on the outside. There has very little like rust. Actually, it looks like they did maybe some repairs, unless it came like that. But looking at, like, putting my finger, there's some, you can feel a little bit of rust, but like it's a little rough in areas, but smooth in most areas. And you know, everything's solid. What I was more worried about was back here, which it, like, put my finger this way, it's smooth right there, like almost like it's painted. And then I do feel coming around some rough spots, which I assume is rust. But like even across the way, I feel a little bit of rust build up, but not horrible at all. I'm gonna go ahead and drill underneath here so it'll drain properly. And then these are pretty good. A little bit of surface rust on the top here, I guess. A little bit of rust. We'll probably sand those off. But these are in really good shape. Everything back here is in good shape. Now, I had this frame sitting front end up, okay? So there is a lot of rust flakes down here, but I think it's because everything fell down this way. Because I don't feel any rust flakes anywhere else. And here it feels like I'm getting a rock or something, or a piece. Oop, I almost got it. Where'd it go? That's looks like a nutsert. So it looks like a nutsert popped out. So that could have been, I'm not sure where that came from. But anyways, could be a nutsert from where the transmission, or the plate underneath the transmission, bolts onto. So I may end up having to maybe redo something underneath there. We'll check it out once we get it cleaned up and everything. I do have dirt build up back here because I had it sitting on the down here. Still looks in pretty good shape down here. Got a little wet, looks like, but no rust. One thing I will have to one thing that I will have to figure out is these bolts broke off for the shocks, and it does look like a little bit of separation right there, maybe because they yanked off the shock, because this is double. But thought they made like a conversion kit to make it to where that's not like, it's something different. But I don't know, I'll have to do some research on it. You can see here where they broke off. I mean, worst comes to worst, they'll just put a nut up on top with a washer and screw it in place, although that's screwing the next guy or myself when I have to change the shocks out again. So we'll figure something out. Not ready to learn welding yet. I know I've been talking about that for a long time. It did come with this rough country transmission plate, but I don't think I'm going to use it. I'm going to use what's on the Jeep already. And then they put this strap around here, probably just to stabilize it in the middle. And as you can see, the setup that I got just to hold it in the air. These sawhorses are rated for 2,200 pounds, or 1,100 each, but together 2,200 pounds. Although it wobbles quite a bit. I don't know if I totally trust that amount, but it's holding up pretty good with the frame on it. And yeah, the front looks good. Oh, and one other thing. So I did get, a long time ago, I got this off of another Jeep for the exhaust. It is missing the inside one, which should mount right here. So I'm gonna have to salvage and clean up this one, which it's pretty rusty. So it sucks that they took that off of there, but I mean, it didn't come with either exhaust hanger. This one, like I said, I got from somewhere else. So we'll clean this up. I should have pulled the exhaust hanger from here, but I didn't realize it at the time that I might need it. I just knew that one, I was missing one. So anyways, thanks for watching. So I gave you guys the tour of Axle Deep and what we all need to do. And now the new frame coming in. I'm probably going to start from the front, because the first thing I'm going to do is the engine. And the reason for that, I forgot I wanted to mention this. The reason I'm going to start with the engine and then move on to the transmission is because before I do anything else, I want to have this plate moved over, and like the transmission plate, underbelly plate, I forget what it's called. Y'all know what I mean. But so yeah, so first thing I'm gonna order is from Brown Dog the engine mounts that mount to the frame first, and then I'm gonna move on to the other brackets, which are like 3 times more. It's crazy. But and that being said, I did get some stuff in for the engine in the mail. So I got the rear main seal, got the valve cover gasket, the manifold gasket, and then the oil pan gasket. So if I need any other gaskets, like say my timing chain is wore out and I need to get a new one, too loose, we'll cross that bridge when if it. Trying to think any more tangents. Like I said, I'm trying to be thorough. If I find anything, I'll mention it, but at the moment we're moving forward, and it may take some time, but I'll see you guys in the next video.